Hey, this is Daniel from Adorama. I'm here in my studio in New York City with Cadence, and we're making some beauty shots today. And I want to talk a little bit about using hard light with a fill versus using soft light. So we started off with the soft light, which is this 5-foot Octa. Now, when you're talking about hard soft, it's generally controlled by the size of your light source relative to your subject. So we're shooting basically a headshot of Cadence, and this is a 5-foot octagon, so that's much, much bigger than her head, so it's going to be a soft light. What that means is that our shadow to neutral transfer is going to be very gradual. In other words, our shadows aren't just going to suddenly be there, it's going to be neutral and then gradually go into shadow. With such a big source like this too, it kind of almost fills itself, and you get basically a really even light source that's nice and smooth across the skin without any direct shadows. This can be super useful if you're shooting things where you don't want to show, let's say, wrinkles or imperfections in the skin, that kind of stuff. Soft lights are great for that, and often a go-to for portrait photography. It can work for beauty photography, and we're going to shoot some shots here, and it should work out pretty well. But actually in beauty photography, we tend to like to use a harder light source. The hard light source is not going to be as flattering if you have things like wrinkles and stuff, but it's going to really cut out and shape the face a lot nicer. So I'll shoot some like this, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll move forward. So here we go. Cool, so that looks really nice. It's a little flatter than I'd like for this particular thing. So one thing we can do with the harder light source is we can add in what's called negative fill. So negative fill, just like you normally use a reflector to fill in the shadows, which we're going to do later, negative fill, you just use a black reflector. That's going to essentially stop some of the bounce that's happening in the room and give us a little bit more shadow under her chin and under her nose to hopefully shape the face a little bit nicer. So let's try a little bit with the negative fill. Good. Okay, so we've switched out to a Magnum reflector here. We had thought to maybe use a beauty dish, but I think the Magnum reflector is gonna be even better. This is a smallish, about 12-inch reflector made by Profoto that really creates a punchy light, nice hard light. It's only 12 inches, like I said, versus 5 feet. So it's gonna be a hard light. It's gonna be really crisp on her, have really defined shadows. This is gonna be super useful if we wanna really show the shape of the face and get that look. Chin, chin. Wow, okay. It's really nice, really dramatic. But I am a little nervous that some places, like under her chin or whatever, it might just get too dark, right? We might not have any detail there, and we don't want to have to pull that back too much in post because the shadows are really where your noise is. So a simple thing to do while we're on set is just to grab the foam core board we were using earlier. We'll use the white side this time, and that's gonna be a fill light for us. Obviously, you want to make sure that the spread of the light hits the reflector. That's the only important part. So we want to get it nice and close so that our light hits the reflector, bounces up, and goes into her shadows. So let's try that. Good. Yeah, immediately we see a difference here. So it's nice and filled in, and we can play around with that. You could use silver as well if you felt like you needed that, but I feel like that'd be too much in this case. So this is a pretty simple setup for either beauty or portraits, right? We've got 2 lights on the background. They're just set to give us a white background. Essentially, I'm just lighting it nice and even just to give us a consistent background through the whole thing. And then I brought my main light source in, whether it be the big octagon or the little Magnum reflector. I just kind of brought it in more or less central on the face to give a nice even light across the face. So which light you choose, whether you choose a big soft light or a small hard light, can really change the feeling of the image. Same model, same background, same clothes, more or less same expressions. We're keeping relatively the same shot, but by changing that light source, we really change the feeling of the image. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time on set.